Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is King Ruthless, and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This time it's going to be Zerg versus Terran on the map Tal'Dorei Maltar, and let's go to introduce our two players for this matchup. It will be Area51's Kane spawning as a Teal Zerg, and for his opponent this matchup it will be, I believe it's Team Exo's Seither. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'm going to call it Seither because it really could be Seither. I'm just going to say Seither and we'll just deal with it. We'll live with it and love it. But anyways, before I go too far into examining ZVT or Tal'Dorei Maltar, I kind of want to explain that this is a clan war, by the way, and this is a clan war between Team Area51 and Team EXO, and it's part of the Bounty Hunter TV The Legion Team League, and there's a thread on TeamLiquid.net. This is going to be a pretty big tournament. There's already lots of clans who have signed up. I think it's at least above 20 or so, and the way this works is very much like the GSTL. The format for the matches is going to, is pretty much a best of 9 team kill format, the same like the GSTL. So you both pick your first players, sort of at the same time, and from there you just decide, okay, what maps, what is the map pool, and I mean I guess after the first game, the winner gets a veto map, and the challenger gets to pick the next map. But as well, the person who is the defender gets to know what race they will be playing next. So this way they can avoid maps that are potentially just really bad for their race, that matchup. For example, you would want to veto Shakuras Plateau if you were a Zerg and your opponent was going to be a Terran, because that map is terrible for Zerg against Terran. So anyways, we are going to have this game, and I wanted to showcase one player from the team of Area 51. His name is Kane. Kane's a pretty strong Zerg. I got to see him play in quite a few matches, and he was very impressive with his just knowledge and just his decision making. So I wanted to highlight on a few games that he did for this team league. And I don't really know much about Seither. I did see a couple of games of his, but both players is really strong. They are high masters, so this is not going to be any sort of walkover, platinum scrub, nothing like that. These guys are high masters. They obviously know what they're talking about, and they can brag all they want. So, going into the matchup, obviously, I mean, Kane's going to go ahead and expand. He's going to do some sort of speedling opener afterwards. Whereas Kane's just going to, nicely plop down his command center about the 19 food mark. As well, he's already got a barracks up, and once he can afford another Marine, he'll go and send it out. And I want to go ahead and point out, straight into this game, ZVT, the more early aggression you can do on this map as a Terran, because of these spawning locations, the more you should do it. And notice that there's an SCV being brought up, there are 2 Marines being rallied in, and these drones are going to take some fire. And there's nothing you can really do about this until your Zerglings are out in time. So there's only 4 Zerglings out in the map, and one of these drones is going to get target fired. Nice target firing by these Marines. The second drone will just barely get away. But what I want to point out in this map is that creep spread is very important, and it's also very important to scout what sort of strategy your Terran opponent is going. If your Terran opponent is going for something like a siege tank, medevac, Marine mixture, you're going to want to make sure that you at least have mutas, if not infestors, to deal with the eventuality, that is, the tank, the siege tank, and Marines and medevacs combos that's just going to happen on this map. So we see here a lot of droning coming from Kane, as well as his link speed. Nothing too much out of the ordinary. Looks like Terran is going to be moving in. Oh, actually, this is a pretty big deal right here. This was not a perfect wall off, so Kane Zergling is actually going to scout everything that's going on. He sees this reactor going down at the front, which is going to mean Hellions, and he's scouting around. He only sees 1 gas, so it means it's not going to be followed up by anything like Banshees. As well, he sees these 3 barracks go down. So basically, Kane's read this situation to a T. I mean, he knows exactly what's going to happen. He can expect some sort of Hellion aggression, maybe some barracks aggression as well. And immediately, Seither is starting a wall off with supply depots. This is a pretty smart way of preventing those Ling run-bys, as well as long as you're able to contain your Zerg opponent with these Hellions, you should be able to do whatever you want. But I want to point out here that Kane is throwing down a Roach Warren really fast to go ahead and deal with these Hellions, and it's potentially to take and expand, or potentially to be aggressive. And actually there's a Baneling Nest on the way as well. This is actually going to be a very aggressive build here for Zerg. So I want to point out the income tab. It is 33 harvesters to 28. 2 strike stretchers going down. You generally don't go roach baneling for defense. You generally do that for offensive measures. So we do have 4 Hellions out here for Seither. No damage really on either of these, but we do have nice spawn crawler placements here from Kane. Stim is on the way, but here come out 10 roaches. And I told you guys, I mean, this is going to be a pretty good game, and there's a reason why I was going to cast my man Kane here. It's because this is a pretty nice strategy, pretty baller strategy. We have 10 roaches about to pop. These Hellions are not going to be able to continue their contain for much longer, and actually, Seither's gone for 2 more Hellions. Now, when your opponent, your Terran opponent, really commits to Hellion, if you make something like 10 roaches or so and get banelings, you can kill them straight up. So right now the roaches are just sort of poking in, being a little bit indecisive, but they will give the Zerglings time to rally over here towards the middle and become banelings. And at this point, guys, I mean, if Seither does not hold this off correctly, he's going to die. Meanwhile, the Hellions are going to be in the base of Seither, and the Zerglings are starting to wrap in, trying to pick off as many of these Hellions as they can, and I think it should be just enough to take care of this. Yeah, I mean, that Queen's going to be able to take out the rest, but meanwhile we have Roaches, Lings, and Banelings. This wall-off has been completed. There are 2 bunkers up, and a third is trying to get down, but these Banelings are going to be able to take care of this wall, supply lock the Terran temporarily, and that's just so many Roaches at this point in time. There's really nothing the Terran can do. I mean, the Terran went for siege tanks. He doesn't even have siege tech on the way. He can't afford it right now. Right now he just has to pump units. And that's why this timing is so awesome, because it hit before the 9.5 minute mark when the Terran would likely want to go for something like siege tech. But now he can't. He's going to be forced to lift off his natural. But the Lings are being smart here. I mean, Kane's being smart here. He's going straight for the Juggler. He knows his Terran opponent is in a lot of trouble. His Terran opponent has to make Marauders and Marines to hold this off. But so many Zerglings coming in, just streaming in across the map, and that is all he's making, guys. Lots and lots of Zerglings back at home, and the Roaches are going to be able to pick off the rest. And guys, that'll do it. Seither gives a GG, and so yeah, that was a really quick replay, but I want to point out, Kane Zergling, that one Zergling that came in here and scouted everything that Terran was doing, that gave him the go-ahead, that gave him the green light to go ahead and do this Roach Baneling all-in. So it's a pretty cool build. I'm going to learn it as well. I'm sorry if I didn't go enough of the build order for everyone's pleasure. But you can go back over the replay. You can watch this game as well. But that will do it for this cast. I've been your host as always, Kangaroothless. Be sure to rate, subscribe, comment, favorite, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.